Hey, how's it going, friends? Zander Fryer here with Shit You Don't Learn in College, and today we're going to talk about college. Is it still relevant? Now, back in the 1970s, if you got a high school degree, you could get a decent job, and if you got a college degree, you could literally have whatever job that you wanted in the world. Then in the 80s, high school degrees got you a lot of stuff, but to get a really good job, you had to have a college degree. In the 90s, if you had a college degree, you could get a job, and a high school degree didn't really get you as much. And come the 2000s, the new millennium, you get a college degree and it isn't really worth anything, right? Nowadays, did you know that only 27% of people with college degrees are actually working in a role that requires that college degree, while 41% of people are working in a role that doesn't require any degree at all? That means that more people out there have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a degree and are now working at Starbucks than actually working in a role that required that hundreds of thousands of dollars to be spent to begin with. Something to think about. On top of that, Gallup recently did a poll that found that 49% of adults believe that college is actually not even necessary anymore. That means half of America believes that college isn't worth anything. On top of that, Forbes found that 87% of people in 9-to-5s are either unhappy, disengaged, depressed, stressed, or anxious and don't want to be there. That means only 1 out of 7 people are actually happy with what they do. Still think this system is working? Let's talk about it. I'm going to dig into why the system is broken and what would be better. So the first thing that I want you to understand is where our education system actually came from, how we got here. Because in order to understand the problem, we need to know what brought us to this point and why. When you can understand the context, you can start to see why things are the way that they are. So if we were to go all the way back to about 500 or 600 BC, right, into Plato's Republic, the time of Plato and Socrates in ancient Greece. How did they actually educate themselves in ancient Greece? Well, they had something called the Trivium. The Trivium was something that to become an individually contributing member of society, you had to master over the course of years, even decades. You would master these 3 basic things before you even had the opportunity to go focus on anything specific. And these 3 things were, number 1, grammar, which is, when it comes down to it, the ability to learn something new on your own. Number 2 is logic, which is the ability to reason on your own. And number 3 is rhetoric, which is the ability to take something in, critically think, critically question it, and re-deliver it. So, grammar, rhetoric, and logic. When you could master the ability to learn, the ability to reason, and the ability to critically think and re-deliver, that's when you became an individually contributing member of society. And only then would you go focus on mastering a specific trade. Pretty cool, right? Well, now let's think about fast forwarding maybe 700 years to Imperial Rome, okay? Militaristic, driven on imperial expansion, so it's driven by soldiers. Well, what makes a terrible soldier? Somebody who can learn on their own, somebody who can reason on their own, and somebody who critically questions everything that they've been given and digests it and re-delivers to create a different opinion. That sounds like a terrible soldier, doesn't it? So in ancient Rome, they did completely away with the idea of classical education of the Trivium system, and that's what created massive militaristic expansion. Good for them. But as that kept going forward, obviously we saw the death of ancient Rome because of that. Now, you fast forward to the founding of America. And the founding of America was actually built on the classical system of education. The founding of America, our founding fathers, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, these guys founded America on the classical systems of education. Grammar, rhetoric, logic. Now, what happened around the late 1800s and in the 1900s with the industrialization of America, the move towards expansionist capitalism. Now, this is weirdly similar to ancient Rome, except instead of in a militaristic sense, it's in an economic sense. Capitalism, God love capitalism, it's provided a lot of opportunity for growth in healthcare and technology, comfort, life, everything. But we can't deny that it's also created a lot of issues for individuality, right? Why do you think Forbes found that 87% of all people in 9-to-5s are unhappy? Well, it's because in America today, we've created a similar form of education as ancient Rome, but instead of around militaristic soldiers, we've created economic soldiers, aka the 9-to-5 worker, right? So what is this new form of education that we've created that is very similar to ancient Rome? It's called objective-based learning. Now, objective-based learning versus the Trivium. Trivium, the whole idea of the Trivium was to allow you to become a creative thinker, an individual, find what's right for you, critically think on things, learn how to learn on your own, do the things that matter to you, and then go out there and produce something creatively in the world. Well, in the objective-based learning system, the idea is to, in the most efficient way possible, create a tool, a cog in a wheel. The simplest way for me to explain this is to think about playing the piano. Let's say you wanted to learn, you've never learned how to play the piano before, and you wanted to learn how to play a piece by Mozart. One piece by Mozart, that's it, okay? There's two ways to learn how to play the piano. The traditional way of playing the piano, where you learn scales, you learn sheet music, you learn the basics, you learn the fundamentals, but the fundamentals themselves might take years, right? Or I could give you a video of somebody playing a piece by Mozart, and I could give you step-by-steps of how to place your fingers and how to hit the keys. And just by brute force repetition over the course of a month, 2 months, maybe 3 months, you could actually learn how to play a piece by Mozart. But you would only learn one piece. Now, after that, if I gave you a piece by Bach, could you play that piece by Bach? No, because you didn't know scales, you didn't know how to read sheet music. If I asked you to create your own piece similar to Bach or Mozart, could you do it? No, because you didn't learn the fundamentals. You just became a machine, that's all. But if you had learned the scales, if you had learned how to read sheet music, if you had learned the basics of the creative functioning of playing the piano and music theory, then you could actually go create your own masterpiece. This is not what we do in our world anymore. We do objective-based learning, and this is the fundamental breakdown that we have in our society in education. We've created one-trick ponies rather than teaching everybody how to think, how to learn, how to reason, and how to critically question everything that's going on in our world. That is what we need to focus on. So if that's what you're looking for, I want to give you the 3 steps to start to fix this immediately, okay? Step number 1, you have to master the Trivium. You have to master the ability to learn on your own. This is self-development. This is personal development. This is personal education. You have to develop the ability to reason on your own, make your own decisions, not just be told what you need to do, make a decision on your own of what is right for you, for your life as an individual. And you have to learn to critically question. Critically question everything is out there. Why? Why do we do it this way? Why can't we do it this way? Why is this happening? Why is this person saying this? You have to start asking why to more stuff. You have to master the Trivium. This isn't going to happen in a day. This isn't going to happen in a week. This isn't going to happen in a month. This is going to take time to learn to think differently. First, you must learn how to think before you can learn what to think. You must master the Trivium first. The second thing that you have to do is you have to get crystal clarity around what it is that you actually want in life. 61% of people with college degrees say that they would love to go back and either get a different degree or not get a college degree at all. The majority of them citing that their degree has nothing to do with what they're passionate about and love in life. We're taught that we need to choose what we need to do in our lives at 17 years of age, and I don't know about you. When I was 17 years old, I didn't really give a shit about what I was doing with the rest of my life. I cared about the cute girl in Spanish and where I was going to get beer that weekend. That's about it, right? But the truth is now that we know a little bit more about ourselves, we need to think deeper on what really matters to us, what we're passionate about, what we're good at, what the world needs, so we can align the 3 together and actually go after something that matters. But Zander, what if we want to become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that? Great. If you do really deeply down want to become a doctor or a lawyer, then college is probably something that you need to do. But the majority of people that make the decision to become a doctor or a lawyer, they actually don't want to be doctors or lawyers. They were told they should be doctors or lawyers by their friends, their family, their parents, because that's a good, stable job that might pay you well. But there's also a reason that professional burnout is highest in those industries, in engineering, in doctors, in lawyers, in accounting. These stable jobs that pay really well that everybody needs. They're also on the top tier of burnout, the top tier of people wanting to quit. I know a lot of doctors because I went to UCLA, and I'll tell you right now, maybe 1 out of 4 of them actually really love being doctors. The other 3 hate it. But after $500,000 worth of debt and over a decade worth of school, you're kind of fully committed. But that's just the truth. If you really want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, college is right for you. But so many people get pushed down that path not because it's something they want to do, but it's because something everybody else wants them to do. Now, the last step to making this become a reality is learning from people who've actually been there. This is one of the first pieces of advice that I was given by a mentor. If you want to become successful in any space, you have to go find someone who's done the thing, has practical wisdom, specific knowledge in the space, and get mentored by them. This is the apprenticeship model. This has been done for thousands of years and done very successfully, but for some reason we shifted that. In our world, we think that professors can teach us everything with theoretical knowledge rather than practical wisdom. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to become a professor. So why would I go to college and get taught by a professor? That doesn't make any sense to me. This is why self-development is so important. If you have a goal, if you know where you want to be, if you want to become a real estate agent, if you want to become a 7-figure earning coach, if you want to own an agency, if you want to start an e-com business, whatever it might be, the first step after you've gotten clarity on that is you need to go find that mentor, that new professor that's actually done the shit, so you can learn the practical wisdom to making it become a reality. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and click the like button below and let me know. If you have any other specific topics you want me to cover in a future video, comment that below as well. And do not forget to click the subscribe button below so you never miss another great video, and I'll see you in there.